When is the Arabic edition coming out?
You have the Quran, you have a lot of knowledge, culture, everything. Everything is there.
How are you asking me to start a business? I don't even have my daily bread.
Because my Arabic is very bad.
You don't have Bedouins in Colombia?
90% of the startups, they die after 3 years.
You have a connection with Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam.
Money cannot be the measurement of success.
Can we say that this book is only meant for Arabs, or is it for everybody?
Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Mi consuelo, like he's bringing.
Mi consuelo means someone who will give me relief because of the pain that I have. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My dear brothers and sisters, welcome to Dome Podcast with me, your host, Hatim Abdissalaam. And today I have a special friend and a brother, Mr. Camilo Dazza. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Camilo.
Assalamu alaikum, dear Hatim. How are you, my brother?
I'm fine. It's nice to see you on the show.
I'm so honored to be here with you, my dear.
Mr.
Thank
Camilo
you so
Dazza is a writer, a businessman, and an investor. We met a long time ago, Mr. Camilo, and we have a special friendship. We have a bond. And
Indeed.
Today we're here to talk about your new baby, which is this book. This is this interesting book, which is called Entrepreneur in the Desert.
Yes.
So before we get into the details of the book, I'm very much interested about your name, Dazza.
Okay.
And this word actually has a meaning in Arabic. What does it mean?
Who push, you know?
Someone who push.
Yes,
Dazza.
yes, Dazza.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, my father's name is Dazza.
Mm-hmm.
My father name as well is Camilo. So I'm like a junior version of my father.
So it's very common in Colombia to have the same name as your parents?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
does
in
your
some
mother-
regions.
Does it, when your mother calls Camilo in the house, who responds?
Both of us.
You or your mother? Both of you?
Senior or junior?
Senior or junior?
Yeah.
You're from Colombia.
I'm from Colombia.
Camilo.
I'm from
And you've been in Oman for how long?
Oh my God! Now almost 11 years now.
11 years.
Yes.
You know, it's very interesting how we met, but I'll keep that story to later on.
Yeah.
But why did you come to Oman in the first place?
Oh my God! This is a story of love.
Mm-hmm.
This is very interesting because I came here because my wife,
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago, almost 12 years ago,
Yes.
she applied for a work here. I mean, far away, because there is in Oman one person who is Colombian and she owns a clinic in the health sector, and she wanted to hire some Colombians in the staff. So my wife applied, and then she came and she liked, and we thought that it was only for 1 year maximum.
So she came alone first?
She came alone, yes.
Mm-hmm.
She came alone with any idea about Oman, with any idea about Arab world. So she came and she called me and she told me, Camilo, my baby, I think that you should come and see.
Yeah.
And I couldn't say no. So I came, and when I came, I fell in love in Oman. I mean, I was so impressed how Oman is, and it's a hidden pearl in the Gulf region.
Before we get into the depth of the story
Mhm.
of when you arrived in Oman, your first language is Spanish, right?
It's Spanish, yes.
It's Spanish.
Español.
And before the show, we were talking that there is a tight relationship between Arabs and the Spanish community,
Yes.
going back to Andalusia.
Yes,
and,
you're
and
right.
you reminded me that there are certain words in Spanish that are they
same
have Arabic
Arabic.
roots.
Yes.
So give me examples of
For
Spanish
example,
words.
Spanish word, like for example, camisa.
Camisa.
Camis.
Okay.
We have pantalón.
You say pantalon as well.
Pantalón, yes.
Yes.
We have factura, but we say factura.
Fatura.
Factura.
Yes.
We have azúcar.
You say sugar.
Yeah, azúcar. We have aceitunas, zeitún.
MashaAllah.
So we have a lot of words.
And the list goes on and on.
Yes.
And
It's
the
a
list
huge
is-
list of common words.
There's
in Spanish
another
and
thing
Arabic.
I also noticed, that the similarity in features between Arabs and Latins.
Yes.
We look alike. I mean, the black hair, the black eyes, the round complexion.
Yeah.
I think, our grandparents must have had a relationship in the past.
Definitely. I think that if you see, for example, the history of humanity,
Yes.
Arab world, they started, I mean, of course, Andalusia, and then after Andalusia, when they discovered America through Christopher Columbus,
Yes.
they started also having some, communities in South America. Today, for example, we have a huge community of Arab people in Colombia. For example, one of the most famous artists, Shakira.
Yes.
She has Shakira Mubarak.
She's half
Lebanese.
Arabian, half Lebanese.
Yes. And actually, we have a small town in Colombia named Lorica, Saudi.
Lorica?
Saudi. Imagine. And it's a very small town, but the architecture is very similar to Arab.
This is in Colombia?
It's in Colombia, yes. The name of the town is Lorica, but like a nickname, they said Lorica Saudi. Because all the houses and the way to have the town is like Arab touches, you know what I mean. So it's very interesting.
I think it's interesting. The more you go into civilizations and cultures, you realize that it's very, very similar with one another.
Yeah.
Before we get into the book, there is a character that you mentioned in the book by the name of Jamal.
Yes.
What's the story of Jamal and why is he in the book?
Oh my God! Because Jamal represents all my love, what I love from Oman. Actually, in Oman specifically.
How?
Because he was the first person who I met in the Middle East. Entirely, he went with us and he introduced me. My wife introduced me with him, and he invited us to his home in Kantab. And we visited, and I lived the real, Arab culture. Visiting him, sitting in the floor, eating some rice with the hands. Real. So Jamal, and still today we have a huge relationship. My regards with Jamal. That represents two hearts that are together in one culture.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
I realize one part of the book where you are talking about Jamal is that when he picked you up, I think from the airport, and then he stopped for prayers.
Yes.
And your wife said commitment.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? In terms of business, in terms of.
For me, it was something that I was so impressed. Because in Latin America, and actually in the Western culture,
yes,
we are always in a rush.
Yes.
Always in a rush. We never stop. And actually, I came from a business background that you never stop. You have no option at all.
No time.
No time at all.
Yes.
So one of my first lessons that I needed to learn when I came here is, okay, stop. Time to pray. And for me was, oh my God, this was the first lesson. And the second lesson related with the first one was the word inshallah.
Yes.
I got the real meaning of inshallah word when you feel that you have not the control of your life.
Wait, Camilo. Yeah. Now, when you first arrived, people speak to you and they say, okay, I'll take you to the hotel, inshallah. The first time you heard this word, did you ask what it means?
I asked my wife, and she told me that it's like, we have similar word in Spanish, by the way, that is ojalá. Ojalá.
And we say inshallah.
And you say inshallah, because ojalá, but ojalá in Spanish means something like that if God will.
It means the same in Arabic.
So we have the same.
The same. You have also inshallah in Spanish.
Yes.
So and then you started using it.
Yeah, I started using in my vocabulary.
MashaAllah. Now, this interesting book has an interesting name.
Yeah.
It's called Entrepreneur in the Desert.
In the desert.
Why this name?
I started writing this book maybe 7 years ago. During those 7 years, I had a lot of things in my business life, but I never had a good title for the book in mind.
The content is there.
The content is there,
but the title is not,
oh my God, what would be...
You should have called it Hatim.
It's a good idea. Good idea. But the thing was that, oh my God, that how to use a book that can be used in different cultures as well.
Yes.
Because the kind of things that happened in the book, it was not only for Arab world, also for outside, for South America, for Western, culture, different kind of culture. So I needed to find one title that I can translate it and will have more or less the same meaning in terms. So the story is very simple. I just went out of my room and I saw the desert. Some behind of my home there are some dunes.
Sand dunes.
Yeah, in Boucher Shabia.
Yes.
Those dunes are very tiny. So okay, but entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur in the desert. Okay, this is news. This is nice. Okay, this is related with the book. And also because the content of the book wants to give a message about that we are in the desert.
Yes.
Not only a physical desert as we are now in Oman. It's a huge desert that even with the COVID, with a new kind of circumstances that we are passing by, we are in this kind of new desert. And we need to be,
prepared.
Strong. Yeah, prepared for that.
Prepared and tough.
Mm-hmm.
This book is amazing because of
so
two
much.
things. I'm sure there's a lot of things that are amazing in this book, but I personally love this book because of two things.
Yeah.
The first thing, I came to discover that you're an artist. and
Yes.
you did the drawings by yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
the artwork is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
In this book, were you practicing, sketching for a very long time?
I mean, this is a very interesting story, and maybe it's a lesson for the people who sometimes feels, okay, I'm an artist, I cannot make money, Because in my time, when I started to study,
Yes.
I wanted to be, you will not believe me, I wanted to be a drawer, for a comic drawing for Marvel, for this
for Marvel magazine.
Yes,
and
or
Marvel
DC
movies,
Comics, for
yes.
example, yes. In that time, I'm talking about in early 90s, late 90s. So in that time, nobody will take serious this kind of dream. But always I had this kind of artist soul. Yes. My mom said, my darling, I cannot pay you this for artists, but I will give you something similar that you can make it. And I study marketing with advertising. In that time, they had a small topic named drawing. So only for this.
Only for that you went to study marketing.
I was so happy. Yes. But marketing introduced me with business administration.
Yes.
So then I went into. But for me, it was quite a frustration that, okay, I never had this chance to be
an artist.
Yeah. But when I started doing consultancy for so many companies, I needed to have a way, and that's why I use those drawings in the book. I needed to find a way to explain very complicated topics, or, for example, a business model in a very simple way.
Yes.
For somebody who needs to understand, and the best way is to have a draw.
Yes.
So in my consultancy process with some of my customers, I started drawing. Okay, this is your company. Your company has this house, this, and I started doing this, and the people like it.
They like it. Yeah.
Yeah, they like it. So I started realizing, okay, this is something that I can convert it into a business way. So I created business modeling. Business modeling is one of my services, for example, that I do for companies that sometimes they need to understand, not only for them, even for their people, for their team.
I think it's easier for you to explain it when it's in images more than words.
Yes. So I started going deeper to this with some of design thinking, studying some other things as well. So I started realizing that, okay, sometimes when you learn something, is not only to keep it out. Yes. Sometimes this will be helpful for something in the future.
Yes.
So now today I decided, okay, let's put those drawings inside of the book, and that's why we have those.
Amazing, amazing. Well done.
Thank you,
in the book, and good luck with the book. Now it's in Borders. People can find it in Borders. Yeah. Now. Under the title here, it says the Arab business model. Yeah, we'll get into that. Mm-hmm. But can we say that this book is only meant for Arabs, or is it for everybody?
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
But comes from something that is part of the Arab culture that we share as well.
Yes.
But it's coming from a big root that it's. I think that is very important for the people, even the people who are not Arab or not Muslim as well.
Yes.
They need to understand those principles as well.
I understand you come from an international experience in business.
Mm-hmm.
When you came to Oman to do business and to invest, did you find that people do things differently here?
Of course.
How different?
How different? In two ways. First, as I told you, this stop thing.
Yes.
I mean, always for me was, oh my God, yes. We had some meetings with some people. Okay, time to pray, halas.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I needed to plan my meetings with them in a proper way. And also, the second thing is that Oman has something that I always have in my heart and my mind,
Yes.
is that the people are really welcoming and able to listen. If you are able to listen and to learn, you are able to do so many things.
Yes.
And something that I discovered here, of course, there is so many things that we need to learn. There is so many things that to do, in terms of entrepreneurship. But the people are able to listen to you. The people are able to learn, to get some ideas, to get something. So I was so happy for being here and to say something that people wants to hear.
Yes. Did you find it difficult to cope here in the culture and the society? You're coming from a very different environment, a very different society, the language barrier, the culture barrier, even the population. I think in Colombia, how many million?
Yeah, almost 50
million. And here you have only 4 million.
Yeah, 4 million, imagine.
So how did you and your family cope? You have 2 kids, right?
Yes.
They were born here?
Yeah, both of them. But Antonella, she's turning 7. Inshallah next year, and Benjamin he's turning 3. Inshallah. And both of them they have they were born here, and also they have their story,
yes.
In part of my life as well. That's why, I mean, in the beginning was quite difficult, as everything.
Yes.
It was quite difficult because sometimes I was connected still with Colombia, so I tried to connect both. But not in that way. When you come here and you try to figure out how to get good business, the first thing that you think is that, okay, what kind of products I can bring?
Yes.
So I will bring coffee, very Colombian coffee. I will bring this, I will bring this. But you are not going to the real need of the people, yes. or the place that you are living.
Because, for example, how many people will drink Colombian coffee? Maybe even they didn't hear of it. So what you're saying is true.
Yes, and maybe I can bring products, I can bring clothes, I can bring anything. But this is not the purpose of business. The purpose of business is also connecting cultures and to understand what is suitable for both sides.
Yes.
So I understood that there was one thing in common in everything that I was doing in Oman, is that we need a proper ecosystem of entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So that's why I decided to go into the ecosystem as entrepreneur, and also supporting other entrepreneurs to grow their businesses as well.
Yes.
So it was the first tricky, but then halas, it was good.
Okay. So if you allow me, let us take a short break,
Yes,
and then
sure.
we will continue our discussion about the content of this treasure.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to Dome Podcast with my dear brother Camilo Dazza. Welcome, Camilo.
Thank you, brother.
Now, tell us about this book. What is the main idea of this book?
Okay, the book came in a time where I was realizing I am not a social media guy.
Yes.
I'm very hidden with my family and my stuffs. But I realized
you are a normal human.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if normal or not, but
because normal human, they cherish their privacy.
yes.
They don't want to expose everything
Yes,
to everybody. And I
yes,
think
yes.
I'm like you.
Mhm.
I love my privacy.
Yeah.
I do this show as part of my work,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
beyond that,
Yeah.
nobody knows anything about it.
Yes.
Which is a good thing.
It's a good thing. Good advice. And actually, but I realized as well,
Yes.
brother, that there was a kind of influencers or people who are giving to the young people a message about entrepreneurship that is not that connected with the real life.
Yes.
I mean that by certain age, maybe 2010, something like that, entrepreneurship started converted into a concept
Yes.
about around money only, around having things, getting things. So even today, when you see, for example, in Instagram or some kind of accounts, influencers in terms of entrepreneurship, they are just dropping money in the camera, or
Yes.
showing off, the Lamborghini or this. So you need to have a certain kind of style, and I believe that this is a very nocive, very toxic message
Yes.
for two reasons. First, it's totally disconnected from the reality, from the reality of entrepreneurship. First. From the reality of the society, second.
Yes.
Because not everybody can be an entrepreneur. I mean, it's not for everybody. And sometimes we feel, okay, no, everybody can be an entrepreneur. Yes and no. Because sometimes you need to sacrifice a lot of things that so many people are not able to sacrifice.
They're not willing to sacrifice.
For sure.
Yes.
Time with your family, sometimes relationship with your parents, a lot of things. And the second thing is that the purpose of entrepreneurship. Sometimes we are more focused into our financial results, into our financial goals, more than the society goals. The company or any kind of entrepreneurs, they should be also as a part of the society to create new jobs, to create a better way of life for the people, not only to get only money. Because if we are, there is one quote we have in Spanish, that there is so poor people that only they have money.
Can you say that quote in Spanish? I would like to hear you
Yeah.
speak more Spanish.
Es tan pobre que solo tiene dinero.
Okay, what does it mean?
He's so poor that only he has money. So if money is only the thing that you have to want to achieve, there is a certain problem, because now we live in a society that are only selfish society, thinking only in my own convenience. So
what you're saying is that if you only have money, you're poor, because you don't have relationship, you don't have community service, you don't have volunteering work, you don't have a purpose, and so on.
Because money cannot be the measurement of success.
Yes.
And this is the first problem that I have with this kind of new wave of entrepreneurship. Is that we cannot claim that, okay, I am a succeed people because I have this. No, who I am first, okay, and why I do what I do.
Yes.
There is a purpose behind of it. So that's why, this was the first thing. So I thought, okay, we need to give to the people a new message about the reality of entrepreneurship. It was the first reason. And the second reason, it was because during pandemic, we realized that we came back to the basics.
Yes.
The people, they were so concerned about the leisure, a lot of things, and then with the pandemic we are taking care about our health.
Yes. So what you mean is that we were living like in a bubble, and we cared about a lot of things that are not important in our life.
Yeah.
But when the pandemic came, we came to reality, and we go back to our original state. We cared about the food that we eat, and our health, family, safety, and so on.
Yes. And actually, I think that this is the most important thing. Even your relationship with family.
Yeah.
So many people, they lost their family during pandemic without even to have the chance to say bye.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
So if we are putting entrepreneurship in a position that is only to get money and only to have this kind of position in the society, we are giving the wrong message to the new generations.
Yes.
The third reason is that we live in the desert, Brother Hatim. We live in the desert, literally.
Yes. So tell us about this desert.
Today, if you see how the concerns about the climate crisis, about the resources, the natural resources that we have, about the water, about the quality of the air, about everything is a really concern. Just go to, for example, Dubai Expo and see all the pavilions are related with the sustainability of the planet.
Yes.
We don't have limited resources. We don't have this infinity, kind of
resources.
Yes, no. We have limited resources and we need to be responsible. This is part of our management as well. So even entrepreneurship, even those kind of entrepreneurs that they want to go to this new way of business, they will face that they will not have enough resources. They will be in a desert in a way that they will not have resources. They will be alone. You visit a desert.
Nobody's there.
Nobody's there.
Yes.
What can you hear? Only your own voice, your own breath. Only that. So in that way, we need to consider that every relationship in the desert is very valuable. And I brought one concept from the Arab world, that is the Bedouins. I don't know how...
Bedouins.
Bedouins, yes. Who is, in Arabic is Badawi? Badawi. So this concept is very interesting.
Why? In what way? Tell me.
See, the Badawi or the Bedouin, they have only one camel. They have only the camels.
Yes.
Okay? But from the camel, they have literally everything. They have meat, they have transport, they have the skin they can use.
Yeah.
Milk. Yeah, milk as well. They have everything. Even they can charge all the stuffs that they have. The tents,
labor work,
everything. If you see, for example, today the new nomads of technology, they have the cell phone. I don't have my cell phone, but the cell phone.
Yeah,
the cell phone. Yes. This is your camel now.
Yeah, this
is the new camel.
It's a very small camel.
Very small camel.
Yes.
Sarir camel. But very useful in terms of now technology is giving us a lot of tools to survive and to manage everything in our lives. First. Second, I love the way that Bedouins have of be generosity despite they don't have possessions.
Can you repeat that again?
Means.
What do you mean? Explain it.
When somebody like me, for example, a Western guy,
yes,
I be lost in the desert.
Yes.
And I found some Bedouin. The first thing that they will do, what will be?
Come to my house, and they will make
they will give me
a feast.
Yeah, they will give me from his food.
Yes.
They will give me something to cover. They will help me.
Yes.
And this is a code of honor from somebody who has no possessions. Yes. What kind of possession you have in the desert? Nothing. But you're so generous. Yes. So generosity is not connected necessarily with wealthy.
Yes.
With having money. Generosity is something from the heart. And today, we need more Bedouins. We need more people.
In the business.
Yes, in the business and everything. In the society.
Yes.
People who think in others. Yes. People who think in a better place for others, not only for themselves. Yes. So that's why, these two concepts I brought from the Arab world. And these two concepts must be known for everybody outside of Arab world.
Let me tell you a concept that I read about at the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, his companions. In the market, they would have, like, if you have two people, two companions, they have shop next to one another.
Yeah.
And they are selling the same thing. So if I'm a customer, I would go to the first shop, and he had relatively good sales for that day. So he said, if I go to him and I say, I want to buy honey, for example, he would say, well, I think you should buy it from my neighbor because I already got enough sales for today. So the same concept that you are talking about, generosity, can also be in the terms of thinking of others as well. Not thinking, because the market is alive by this competition, by brotherhood, by helping one another, because more customers will come because of that. But if everybody is only thinking about themselves, who would want to go to a market where only one shop is shining, is good, and the rest of the shops are terrible, closing down, there's no business?
Yes, and you're totally right. Nobody can be rich in a poor environment.
Yes.
So that's why we need to build this with each other, this concept. That's why I came to this concept from the Arab world, and sometimes when I try to explain it in a Western culture, for them are okay. But what is this? I mean, how is this
for them
possible?
it's something new. They can't comprehend.
Yes. That's why I needed to have a way. That's why I wrote the book.
Okay, I realized that you have a special connection with a historical figure, and that's how we met.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a connection with Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, or as it said, Joseph.
Yusuf, yes,
Yeah,
or
Yusuf.
Jose.
Yeah,
In Espanol,
Jose.
Yes.
Jose. And he is mentioned in this book more than once.
Yes.
And what really attracted me, that you love the word makin,
Yeah.
which is a word in the Quran,
Yes.
is related to the story of Yusuf. Tell us about the story of Yusuf. Why,
Why
and
came to
how
me.
did you get in touch with this story?
I'm always, when I was young, part of my background as well, academic background, I was a theology professor as well.
Oh,
My mother, she was, she led me to have this kind of knowledge as well.
Religious knowledge.
Religious knowledge, yes. So I read about a lot and I try to understand a lot. So one of the most famous, stories in the Bible in terms of Christianity is Joseph.
Yes.
Okay, but in 2008, when the crisis in United States in terms
Financial
of economy,
crisis.
yes, very bad financial crisis. I tried to figure out how to explain the concept of crisis, because in Spanish we have a word that is a quote, actually, to explain when you have a crisis. You say,
How do you say it?
Estamos en vacas flacas.
Yeah, what is
Estamos means we
Vacas
are
flacas.
vacas flacas.
Yes.
Thin cows.
Yes.
Thin cows.
Thin cows.
Thin cows.
Yes.
So means the lean times that are explained in the Quran and also the Bible.
Yes.
When the king had a dream. Okay.
King of Egypt.
Egypt, yes. He had a dream about 7 cows, fat cows, that they were eaten by 7 thin cows.
Yes.
And he had no idea.
What it meant.
Yes. Of course, the background of Prophet Yusuf in that, meanwhile all of this was happening, God was giving him to Joseph a big and very deep process in terms of, he was betrayed by their brothers. Also, he was in jail. A lot of things happened to him.
Yes.
But in certain point, both of the stories are connected. What someone said, okay, I know somebody who has good interpretation of dreams.
Yes.
So he came to the king. The king, okay, this is happening, what is this about? And he said, you will have 7 years of wealthness, of very good, prosperity, followed by 7 really, really in times that you will have bad things and everything. So just put me, as a manager, okay? I'm just rushing in the story because I want to go to the point. But you need to do this and that. So the king said, okay, you will be makin. Empowered, to do this. In 2008, I explained this in a Christianity way, but I didn't know about Makin. When I came to Oman, some of my colleagues, I showed them my conference, my research and everything, because it was a conference. And they told me, yes, we have the same in the Quran. We have this. So I started going deeper. And that's why in Ramadan time, I remember I called you.
Yes.
Because I came to the...
It was the first time.
The first time we met.
One of my friends gave you my number and you called me.
Yes.
What happened in that?
I remember that I went to the mosque because I am very respectful about beliefs, And when you talk about something, you need to talk in deep, and this part of the respectful, So I remember that I wanted just to learn because my Arabic is very bad.
like my Spanish.
But actually, I wanted to learn more about the story because there is so many hidden things that are not in the Bible, that in the Quran I found that are complement.
Details.
Yes, and details that complement the whole story. Actually, the story of Prophet Yusuf, for me, was so deep so deep, even into a personal, how to say this, into a personal field, that even my son is named Benjamin, who is Benjamin? the youngest brother of Prophet Yusuf.
Yes.
Because when Jacob, he lost his son,
Yes.
and Benjamin was born, he said, he is my, I don't know how is the word in English. In Spanish, he's mi consuelo. It's like he's bringing.
Mi consuelo means someone who will give me relief because of the pain that
my relief.
I speak Spanish.
Yes, you speak Spanish very well. And actually, in some certain times as well, Benjamin, my son, also brought me a lot of peace. A lot of relief in certain things of my life. So always I am very attached with the story of Prophet Yusuf, and also that's why I wanted to bring it also into the book, because based on his story and how he made all of these changes, that even until today, there is a archaeological channel in Egypt named Bahrain Yusuf. Mm-hmm. That is one of the smallest construction that he made during this time, and
it's a channel.
It's like a channel. It's like a small. Okay, it's
next to the Nile.
Yes, it's a built. You can check it in Google. It's like a small channel, like a wadi actually, like a small wadi.
It was built in the time of.
In the time,
Yusuf.
yes. I mean, certain archaeology they say that was built in certain time related with the time with the king, that the king and Yusuf was there. So it's very interesting as well to find that there is also evidence. That is not only, it's not fairy tales that sometimes the people, that they don't have any idea about it. Okay, this is something that was real, and the things that they did, the 5 steps that they did, I mean, these 5 steps I created based also in my comprehension about the story.
Yeah.
Because first, he got a vision. And this is the first challenge that when you
That's what you wrote here, the first step is a vision.
Is a vision.
Yes.
And also, every kind of business needs a vision. And the people sometimes, they have problems with the vision. They don't have no vision. They want just to go to do something.
So if someone opens a karak shop, I want to open a karak shop.
Yes. This is lack of vision. This is lack of vision.
Yeah.
But okay, we are good with vision. But also, when he said, okay, you will be my king, he needed a plan. So the second step is plan. So you plan, you see your resources, if you are able to do this and that.
What do you require to achieve the vision?
Yes, there is a strategy, there is tactics, there is everything there.
So vision, planning.
Then, this is the most important thing, implementation. Because most of the companies, they are only PowerPoint companies. They just plan, and nothing happens.
The light.
So you need action.
Yes.
So how to put everything planned into action, in the reality. So, okay, this is a good thing. But also, to maintain this, to maintain the action, you need resources and you need motivation and you need energy. Because sometimes we started something and then with the time we'll go
after
slow,
6 months
Yes.
we close down.
90% of the startups, they die after 3 years. 90% of the startups.
They die.
Yes, die, halas. Why? Because the fourth part.
Because number 4.
Sustainability.
Istidama.
Sustainability. That is really important. How to create a team that can sustain as well. Because the entrepreneur cannot do it alone. Okay.
Once I heard someone says, if you reach to the top, it's not the most difficult thing that you did. Maintaining your position in the top is the most difficult thing for you to do.
Yes. Something to reach is okay. It's not easy, but to keep it there, to maintain there is the big problem, the big challenge. So, okay, maybe we have the 4. We have the 4, so we are done. No, something happened.
Number 5.
Number 5 is when, what if everything changed? What if is something that you plan, you implemented, and action suddenly fail? What happened, for example, if we are waiting for a nice 2020 in December and suddenly a pandemic appears?
Yes.
5 is change management.
I think these 5 points are brilliant because you have translated what actually happened. It is not a theory because Yes, we had plans in 2019. Look what happened.
Yes.
The pandemic came. So most of us didn't have number 5.
Yeah.
And most of the businesses, they closed because of
yes.
no
a
number
lot of
5.
people, they lost their business, they lost
Yeah.
their dreams, everything. And actually, the main lesson of number 5, the change, is that our life is not a line only. It's like a
pulse.
Yes, it's like a pulse. And also it's a branch with a lot of branches as well.
Yes.
A lot of options that you decide on, you start to build your own future.
Amazing. Brother, we will take a short break.
Yes.
And then
sure.
we'll continue this fruitful discussion, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah.
Dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to Dome Podcast with me, Hatim Abdissalaam, and my brother, Camilo Dazza.
Brother,
welcome back,
Thank you,
Camilo.
brother. Thank you so much.
Now, you just took us through the Arab business model of these 5 most important things. Brother, how do you translate these 5 things to the new entrepreneurs in the market, especially like the local market now? Do you conduct trainings or they just have to read the book? How does it work?
Okay, there is so many things that comes from a book. Actually, the book is just the seed.
Yes.
When you put a seed inside of the mind of somebody, it doesn't matter. I mean, I believe that when you read, you are living more lives.
Yes.
We have this quote in Spanish. When you read, you live others' lives.
What's the quote? We want you to speak a little bit more Spanish.
Cuando lees, vives otras vidas.
MashaAllah.
When you read, you live another's lives.
Yes.
You know? And the thing is that one of the main points is that we want to give a message to the young entrepreneurs. Okay, you want to read, you can find it everywhere. You can find it in Amazon. Even, alhamdulillah, we launched it in a Spanish version as well in South America.
Oh, the same book?
Yeah, same book. And we are translating into Arabic as well.
Now tell me, what's the reaction of the people, the Latin people, to this concept? Because it might be a foreign concept, maybe it's not applicable to them. The theme is the camel and Jamal and Makin.
Yes.
So
actually,
how your friends and
yes. Actually, I started this part of the book early 2021, and the first impressions were, okay, what is this concept of Bedouins? It was mind blowing. The concept of Bedouins, because they don't know how. I mean, for them, Arab world.
You don't have Bedouins in Colombia?
No, we have our version of Bedouins in the people, the farmers.
Okay, the farmer.
Is the closest. But it's not that, because the farmer has
everything.
A possession.
Yeah.
And they have a house.
Yes.
And a fixed house.
Yes.
But this concept of Bedouins we don't have in South America.
We'll give you some of the desert.
Yeah. So you know what we did? We create a concept named, and actually it's a company now there.
Yes.
Is named Bedouins. So with the
in Colombia?
Yes. With the concept of Bedouins, we are bringing entrepreneurs. We brought them already. We had our first batch 1 week ago of Bedouins. We brought them here. They were in the expo in Dubai, and then we came to the desert as well, to see the real desert, to go to the dunes, to have this sense to get.
These are Colombians?
Yeah, Colombians, all of them. And they were so amazed, because the message is very deep in terms of not only to read the book, it's also to have the experience, to mix the culture, to understand, all of those kind of things, the global thinking.
Next time when you have Colombians here, let me know.
Yes, of course.
We'll love to see them. Yeah.
Of course. And we are planning to come to bring more, inshallah, in the future. This is the plan. So this is the first step, to bring them. Also trainings, some conference as well, some university, they're inviting me to talk about it. And also I want also to introduce this concept even for Muslim people, because also, some Muslim people, they don't know about this kind of pairs that can be applicable in the business. So
it's not only about spiritual connection to the Quran. You should be able to implement it in your life. It's a guidance.
That's why we believe in God. God is in every sphere of our life.
Yes.
So it should be like that, actually. So this is the point.
Now, brother, there is something that is a concern to a lot of people. With the latest crisis in the world, the pandemic, financial crisis, taxation, and all these things, a lot of people are losing their jobs, a lot of people are losing their business. You see, maybe some people starting small businesses on the streets, selling tea and things like that. And when you talk to people, they have this perception that because I don't have a capital, that's why I cannot become an entrepreneur. Or that is the biggest barrier. How are you asking me to start a business? I don't even have my daily bread. So what can we tell them? How can we tackle this issue?
We need to go deeper to the human needs, and this is very important. That's why the grown message is that, okay, you need the capital. That's why the guys who are, smashing the money in front of the camera,
Yes.
like, I'm rich man. No, I think that the first thing that we need to understand is that the entrepreneurship comes from nothing, from the seed even. Actually, when you go, for example, if we go around the place in the desert of Oman, we'll find a lot of trees, a lot of green.
Yes.
From where? Who planted? Nobody.
Yeah.
But those seeds, they were there for certain reason, and then when the rain came, of course, they started growing and they have their time.
Yes.
All of us, we have seeds.
The seeds are already inside.
Yes, the need is there. The problem is that sometimes we believe that we have nothing, but it's just a thing about contrast. I will give you an example, very important example.
Yeah, if you set an example, it will be easy for us to understand.
I mean, we need to consider our life in terms of contrast. Okay, we cannot say that I am poor if I never see a rich guy. I cannot see that I am happy if I never had sadness, for example. Yes. Okay. For example, in Groenland, in the North Pole.
Yes.
Okay. There is
Greenland.
Groenland.
Groenland.
Okay, in Spanish is Groenland. In Greenland, in the North Pole. Yes,
Pole,
Greenland.
Yes.
They have almost 24 different names for the white color.
You mean
white?
What?
They have white sky, white polar bear, white snow, white, because
everything is in white.
Everything is white, but it's not the same white. Only with the contrast you can differentiate if it's white or not.
Yes. The white of the snow is not the same as the white of the polar bear.
Yes. So, and they have in their language, they have different kind of words to say the white color. This is very interesting. So the point is that our life is the same thing. We cannot say that, okay, I have nothing. No, you have something. You are not only a white person.
Yes.
You have a lot of things in your life that you need to consider. Yes. And the life is not only one or two. No, it's a lot of options for you. So when you start a business, you need to start with the basic thing. No need investment. The first thing is your energy and your intelligence. From where is coming your need? From where is coming your need? Is from something that you want to bring to the world? Is something that you dream of about it? I mean, what from where you're coming with your vision? So this is the first asset for your business. It's not the money. The money will come later. But the first asset is your dream, the seed of your dream. That's why when the people came and say, no, but I don't have money for this. Of course, you don't have. That's why you need to build a business. This is the purpose. Yes. But the money will come as a result of doing the things.
Of you starting, yeah.
Yes.
I think you have a very important concept to explain it to our listeners, is the virtual kitchen concept. What is this idea? And I heard it the first time from you. Can you explain it? What do you mean by the virtual kitchen concept?
Okay. This is very interesting because most of the common businesses during pandemic, they change a lot. Yes. And one of them was food and beverage, BFB. Why? F&B, because the owner of the restaurant always they depend of the physical space. So for example, in this space I have 5 chairs. I pay a rent and this, so I need to do my installment and my all my financial and everything based on this 5 chairs because my capacity is that one.
Yes.
So when pandemic came, and for example, it's not 5 now, I need only 3 for social distance, my rules and everything changed as well.
My circumstances have changed.
Yes.
Yes.
So you cannot support, for example, the rent, or you cannot support your employees, etc., your suppliers as well. So, okay, what if you are not necessarily limited to a physical space? This is the first concept. Okay, the problem is the space. Okay, be everywhere. So we started thinking about this, and there is a concept that was a long time ago. It was named dark kitchen or cloud kitchen, who is a hidden kitchens who most of the companies they used when you need to reach other customers in locations that, for example, applications like here, for example, like Talabada Kid or Timdon, they cannot reach. So we use the same concept, but we mix it with our own brands as well. And we created with some of our partners, we created a concept named virtual kitchen, who is doesn't matter where you are, you just open an application. We are still working our own application as well. You can select what kind of food you want, Mexican, whatever you want, and you will bring it. But from where is the restaurant, you don't know.
So it's not a physical place?
It's not a physical place.
It's a kitchen that
operates everything. But this kitchen has their own operations based on demand. And actually, in some countries, for example, in some markets, even you can predict the demand through artificial intelligence. So it's very interesting because based on the demand, all of these are.
So here in Oman, do we have virtual kitchens?
We have one who is Ego Kitchen. Ego Kitchen is our kitchen, and Alhamdulillah, with a lot of effort, we are now in 4 countries as well.
MashaAllah.
We are in Oman, we are in India, we are in Jordan, and now we are in Georgia as well.
So the virtual kitchen here in Oman, the one in Oman, how many chefs are there? So it accommodates more than one chef?
more one chef and also more on one restaurant. So we have different restaurants. For example, we have one restaurant. Maybe some of your listeners they know. For example, Hala is Lebanese cuisine. Yes. So people who just find Hala in Talabat, they will go and you will find the menu. Yes. It's Lebanese, but we have also Mexican. With Cubole. Cubole is a greeting in Mexico. Cubole.
So it's also the same kitchen.
It's in the same kitchen, but different chef from different parts of the world. So other one is biryani and bowl. We bring biryani and bukara, all of those kind of things. We have also marhaba, who is a Turkish one. We have we are planning also to have one who is a Eat Fit, who is for keto diet.
Keto diet. Yes.
Also, you can find. Also, you will receive your meal every day. This and that. So this is the concept. I mean, to be closer to the people, but not in a physical space necessarily.
I think I like the idea when you meet challenges and then you think out of the box and you try and come up with solution, because I believe that every problem has a solution. You just have to think about it, and do things differently. Maybe if you mention this example 5 years ago, everybody will think that this is a crazy thing. How can we share the same kitchen? Yes. But today it's a reality.
Yes.
It's a reality.
Yes, it's true.
Coming close to the end of our show today, Brother Camilo, what's your advice to the young entrepreneurs out there? I mean, they're going through a difficult time and they need a little bit of Dazza. Yes.
I think that the first advice that I will is go back to the roads. Go back to the roads. If something we can learn, we have the knowledge. You have the knowledge. You guys, you have the Quran. You have a lot of knowledge, culture, everything. Everything is there. You don't need to find this somewhere else. Yes. This is the first thing, because I believe that some principles needs to be set in our current society. Yes. Principles are like I always compare principles and values as green lights and red lights
Yes.
in the traffic. Doesn't matter if you have an Audi or you have a Ferrari or you have a Simca or you have a Renault.
Yes.
Red is red.
Red is red.
Red is red everywhere.
Yes.
Green is green, and doesn't matter. So, in this life, we need to have again to go back to the principles.
Yes.
So my first advice is go back to the roots, go back to the principles who makes you a better person. Then the second thing is the second layer. Okay, you want to be
Yes.
entrepreneur? Okay,
Yes.
go back also to your dream. What kind of dreamer you are?
Yes.
Okay, because we have certain kind of dreamers. I spoke this about in the book, because there is kind of dream that you are always thinking, like a bubble there, and I want to be rich. But there is kind of dream that you can achieve, and also you can measure with the reality.
Yes.
So it's like we said in the book, conditioned vision means that is a vision, but with a realistic way. You have your limitations, that limitations, so you will work to develop and deploy, your strength to raise your limitations. And it's okay. The third thing is, and I think this is the most important, is it's okay to fail. Don't be shy if you fail.
Nobody will just make it from the first go. We all go through
The most toxic message that we are receiving today is that all of us, we are success people in the business. It's very toxic, because in Instagram you will find a lot of filters. Everybody is with the skin, everything. You are showing something that is not real.
Yes.
Because the pressure of the society is that society only accepts the people who are succeed. And this is not real. This is not true. It's okay to fail.
Yes.
You cannot imagine how many. I saw one of your shows about mental illness.
Yes.
You cannot imagine how many people they got suicide only for going to this kind of entrepreneurship, journeys that they failed and they couldn't afford. They couldn't, maintain their health, they lost everything. Even they lost their mind as well for these kind of things. So it's okay to fail. It's okay. It's part of the business. It's part of the normal life.
Yes.
If you fail, you will learn other way to make the things, or how not to do the things. But not only follow the kind of role model that are success, like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. You see this. I mean, everybody is talking about them, but nobody's talking about the people who are behind them, or people they lost a lot of things. They found other way different to manage. So this is the message that we want to say. All of us, we are Bedouins. It's okay.
Well, today we are very, very proud to be Bedouins, and for sure I would urge all my brothers and sisters to read this book. It's in Borders.
Yeah.
When is the Arabic edition coming out?
Inshallah, I hope the next year. Inshallah.
Inshallah. It's a very, very useful book.
Thank you so
very much, my dear brother. I am honored to have you today on the show, and hope to see you soon, inshallah. I will come and see Benjamin and his sister, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. Thank you so much, my brother, for inviting me. I'm really honored to be here with you. And of course, you are invited. Welcome, bienvenido. In Spanish.
Inshallah. Can you tell our Omani audience something in Spanish before we leave?
Of course. Omanis, los amo. Amo tu patria.
Thank you very much. Gracias.
Gracias.
Dear brothers and sisters, thank you very much for being with us on Dome Podcast. See you next time, inshallah. From me, Hatim Abdissalaam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.